Do you believe what you were just singing? Do you even remember what you just sang? What were you singing? He can move the what? He is mighty to what? Come on, listen. When I was little, I would like hear people talk about these things, you know. And at first it was just like, you know, it's just God. God does big things. We know this about God. But listen, I started to believe it. Somewhere along the line, I started to believe, you know, I hear these stories, but I'm like, these aren't just made up stories. No, like Moshe and Noah and these guys, like, they really worked with God and God did big things through them. And then, listen, after Samuel came and anointed me as king, this freaked me out. I experienced the power, the Spirit of God coming on me, little Davy, in ways you not even, like, I would tell you, and you'll go, no way, little Davy, no way. Check it out. I'm out in the field with the sheepies. This is where I am. This is what I do, right? I'm with the sheepies. And all of a sudden, as I'm like over here practicing my slingshot, I like my slingshot. Wait, show me what a slingshot looks like. Like, pretend you have one in your hand. Yeah, see, some of you do different things. One of you did this. You think this is a slingshot, right? Right? Is this a slingshot? You put the rock in there and you go, whoop-a-cha, right? This is not what we use. This is not a slingshot like I use. This guy was do this, right? You do this. Yeah, look, this is like the slingshot we used. So fun. You put your little fingy in here, okay? And you hold this part in your hand like this. Then you put the stone in here. And then, listen, you got to be a better aim with these suckers. Because then you start to swing them around. Faster, 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 faster. And then you let it go. And then it would hit if you get good. So I'm out there. And I'm practicing with my slingshot. Over here, the sheepies, they're fine. You know, they're eating. Ba, 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 ba. And all of a sudden, no, listen. I had a favorite sheepy. It was a little lamb. I call him Malachi. He was so cute, okay? He was fluffy. He was odd. He was like so like, blanc, 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 blanc. He was chunky little baby, you know? And I loved him. He's my little one, you know? And so I'm over here practicing this slingshot, and check it out. All of a sudden, I hear my little Malachi go, I'm like, what's going on? I turn over. Oh no. I see a lion. He is hiding. He had been hiding out in the bushes. And you ever see a lion? They go really low, really low. They got all the muscles in their back. And then all of a sudden, they like, bounce! And you're like, what? Where'd it come from? Well, my little Malachi. This lion, I turn around to see. Just when the lion is pouncing on him, he grabs him like this, and he's got his jaw is like this. Now, what would you do? Yeah, I would scream, I would freak out. Do you know what I did? Listen, it was not Davy. I did not normally react like this. The Spirit of God in me, I look at that lion and I was like, oh no, you did that! I like start running as fast as I can at the lion, and I see him, and we locked eyes for a minute. He like look up like this, and I was like, booyah, baby! Whoa! Pow! I'm not kidding you. I punched him with just my little hand. I know it sounds funny, but listen, I punched him with my hand on his snout, you know? And all of a sudden, the lion went limp. The little Malachi falls out of his jaw, and he's still like what just happened? I pick him up, I look at the lion, dude, he's dead. He's dead. I killed him with one like, wah-ba-cha, bam. I killed a lion. I hold my Malachi, I'm like, woo! Woo! yeah, baby. And listen, I'm not like, I'm the man. I'm like, you are the God. How did you do that, you know? I went home that night. I go, as soon as I walk through the door, I see Eliab, Shammah, Abinadab. They are like all off at battle. They're at war. I see one of my other brothers. I'm like, Nick, dude, you cannot believe this. You're not going to believe this. I'm out in the field, and then and then he died. He looks at me, he's like, you are a little faker. There's no way you kill a lion. I'm like, no, dude, I did. They didn't believe me. Like 3 days later, not kidding, 3 days later, I'm out with the sheepies again. This is what I do. This time it's at night, okay? It's like dusk. You know when it starts, the sun goes down, and it's not dark yet. It's like dusk. It's getting to be evening. That's when the animals, they like to come out and get some food. You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what came out this time? Dude, a bear. It was the biggest bear I had seen. But same thing, I'm doing the slingshot. Sometimes I just gotta maybe pay more attention to the sheepies, I don't know. I'm doing the slingshot, and I look over, and I see this bear. He's not like the lion, you know, waits for the perfect timing. No, the bear, he's like, almost like he's like, I am the man. I am the bear. No one messes with me. Have you ever seen a bear on all fours as it walks? You know, and it's kind of like, maybe like, you know, like this big as it walking. He's walking, and he's just walking like, I'm going to take whatever sheepy I want. Because sheepies, when they get scared, they don't run away. You know what they do?
On their side.
No, they freeze. That's why Monica, they just freeze. They're like, I don't know what to do. You know? So all of my sheep is just like, and it's like, take your pick, you know? And the bear's coming out, and I can just like, I look at him, I'm like, no. I go over, I like walk and like try and be as big as I can, you know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, as I get closer to the bear, do you know what the bear does? Okay. Have you ever seen a bear stand up on two legs? And now all of a sudden it goes from like this tall to like, and you're like, that's pretty significant. Pretty high, you know? He stands up like, oh, you want to do business? And I'm telling you, listen, it did not stop me for 1 second. I just like started running then. And do you ever play football? Anyone ever play football, see football? I was like, you're going down, buddy. I run as fast as I can, and then I like, whoa! And I put my shoulder and my head, I just pounded him in his gut. The bear went, poof, fell on his back. But then before he could even get up, I'm telling you, I jumped on top of him and just was like, whoop, pow, 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 right on his face. Oh, baby. Do you know what I did? I did. I killed a bear. I went home that night. I'm like, guys, you're not going to believe this one. I killed a bear. They just laugh at me. I'm like, no, dude, seriously. It was crazy. Listen. And then, like, it was just some days after that. I'm like, I'm experiencing things like, I can't do these things. No, I like, this is stuff that only God through me can do. And I'm like, what in the world is this? You know, this is crazy. And my father comes to me this one evening at dinner, and he goes, David, listen, I want to send you on a mission. And you use the right word with boys, and it's like, oh yeah, a mission. He wanted me to take some cheese sandwiches to my brothers. You know, I was like, ooh, this is my mission. You know, he goes, I want you to go to the front line of the battle, because Eliab and Abinadab and Shammah, like those three, they were in battle with Saul's army, fighting the Philistines. Everybody go, Philistines. Bleh. Philistines. Bleh. Thank you, that's how I feel too. Okay? They were fighting with them. They had been out there a long time. And my father, he wanted to check up on them. See, we don't have like the texty, you know? We don't have these computers that you have. No phones. So he says, David, take your brother some food, and I want you to just see how they're doing. And then come back, tell Papa so my heart can be happy, you know? I'm like, okay, when do you want me to go? He goes, first thing tomorrow. I said, all right. Do you know how far it was? It was like 12 miles, okay? And I mean, it's not very, very, very crazy far for you when you got your vehicles, you know? But it's far to walk, you know, back and forth. So I was like, okay. So I was planning on leaving as soon as the sun came up the next morning, but check it out. And I know now, I didn't know that morning, but I know now. Do you know that God woke me up? Like, I'm a typical kid, you know what I'm saying? I like to sleep. Don't you like to sleep? You know? Counselor comes and like, wake up. What do? You know? That's how I am usually. Not this morning. That morning, it was like, bing! My eyes just like shot open. And I'm looking, we don't have clocks, I'm looking outside, there's not even the sun is up yet. And I was like, I'm just gonna go. I'm not gonna lay here, I can't go back to sleep. I'm just going, I'll go early. And I'm telling you what, that was the Lord, because his timing, oh man, his timing was ridiculous. I walked 12 miles. And when I started to go over the hill, and I could hear the army. All of a sudden, I hear the Philistine army doing their war cry. And you're like, what, big deal? No. You only do your war cry, your battle cry, right before you are going to actually go into battle. Because up until this point, we've got Israel's army, Saul over here, on this part of the mountain, and then there's this valley, and then the Philistines were over on this side. They hadn't come at each other yet. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like who's going to go first, daring. And they hadn't moved yet. But on the morning that I go, right as I'm coming over the hill, I hear the war cry, and I'm like, whoa! And do you want to know what happened? You got to come with me. Come on. Hurry up, come on. Leave your stuff, just come. Come on. Come on. He's so crazy. Ow. It's a fun one, okay. Come on, guys. Okay. Just like sit down here behind this stump, okay? Make sure you're behind the stump. Over here, on the grass. You want to be able to see. You're going to look that way, but sit here. Sit down. Face this way, but face back here. Okay, yeah. Okay, sit down. Come on. Come. Sit. Sit here too. You have front row seats. Okay? Come on. Yeah. Sit down, front row seats right here. Free tickets, okay? Come on. Yeah. Come on, buddies, come on. Check it out. Come on, yeah, this is fun. I like this, okay? Sit on your butatas, you know? Come on. It's a nice day today, you know? Not too much sun in my face, you know? It's a good day. The sheep is like these days. They don't bath too much. They like it. They like the shade. Because sometimes you gotta use what you take care of to make your clothing, you know? Well, because you're gonna find out. Sit down. Sit, quick. You guys are so good. You're so good. I like you. Okay. All right. Okay, check it out. Listen, you gotta listen closely. We don't have these cars where I'm from. They make too much noise. Okay, that's what's nicer. Okay, check it out. Everybody wave. I like that. Okay, I get over the mountain and I hear the war cry, but as soon as I can see the valley, the middle, you won't believe who comes out. Right in front of all of the Israel army, all of a sudden this big giant comes out onto the field, like right in between us. You see this fool? Yeah.
Why have you come out to draw up for battle? Am I not a Philistine? And are you not servants of Saul? Choose a man for yourself, and let him come down to me. If I beat him, you will be our servants. But if he beats me, we will be your servants. I defy the ranks of Israel. This day, give me a man. We may fight together.
Okay, listen. This is what I find out. For 40 days, more than a month, this giant is coming out every morning when the sun comes up. And every night, twice a day, he's coming out into the valley in between both armies, and he's mocking the armies of Israel, the living God. And he's saying, hey, listen, send your champion, pick your toughest guy, let him come and fight with me. And he says this, if your man can beat me, then the Philistines will serve you forever. But he says, if I win, then you gotta serve me. You gotta serve the Philistines forever. And I'm telling you, do you know what? You guys are like the army. And do you know what the army is doing the whole time? They're freaking out. They're like, ooh, we are so scared. We are so scared. And I'm like, oh, I'm angry. I'm angry. Like I got some like serious, what in the world? Who is this little man, you know? And I start to say to some of these guys, I'm like, hey, why don't you go? Why don't you go and fight him?
I will.
You're okay. You guys are my kind of people. But these grown men, they're like, no, we're not going. We're not going. He's too big. Look at the size of his sword. The guy, this giant had a spear that was between his back. It was on his back. He had armor all over him. Listen, they were so scared. And I'm like, guys, he's just a man. He's just a man. What you can't see, you can't see that we've got God on our side. We've got all of the angels of God on our side. He's got no one behind him. Okay, so wait. He's like 9 foot 9 inches. He's big. But that's all he is. I'm little Davy, but I know that I've got great big God and all of his angels around me. He doesn't stand a chance. And do you know what else I find out? Check it out. As I'm going around and telling people, like asking them, why don't you go? One of them tells me this, that the king, what's the king's name at the time? Saul. Yeah, Saul promised. He said, if there is one of you that's willing to go up and fight this giant and defeat him, listen, I will cancel all the taxes for your father's family. All of you never have to pay the monies to me ever again. That's a big deal, man. That's a lot of money Saul would take from the people every year. But then it got better. Guys, check this out. Are you ready? Not only your whole father's house will never have to pay taxes. Check it out. He says, and you will get to marry my daughter. I'm like, are you kidding me? I start to say to these guys, I'm like, why won't you go?
I will.
Yeah, he says, I will. They weren't. I'm like, you don't have to pay taxes and you get to marry the hot daughter of the king? Like, you become royalty, part of the king's family? Dude, why aren't you going? My brother Eliab, he don't like this. All of a sudden, I felt a hand on my shoulder. Do you ever like, you know what I mean? Like mommy's got that grip, you know who it is before you even turn around. Eliab had that grip. I feel it on my shoulder. I turn around and he looks at me and he goes, why are you making a fool of me? Like he's pretty much like, shh, shush, stop it. And I looked at him and I'm like, Eliab, I'm not saying nothing against you. I'm just saying, like, this is the truth, man. And so check it out. Somebody told Saul what I was saying. And Saul said, bring him to me. So these two guards bring me in before Saul, the king. You're that, yeah. There's Saul, okay? Now, I gotta say this too, because he's asking for the champion. He's asking for our strongest man. Can you remind me, in all of Israel, who was the biggest? Do you know also that there are only 2 people in all of Israel, the whole army, that had swords? Do you know who one of them was? Saul and his son Jonathan, only people with swords. Who should have been the one going to fight the giant? And that's what he was saying. He was scared too. So they bring me in before Saul, and you know when you're like, he was hopeful. He was like, okay, they found someone. Somebody's willing to go. All right, here we go. But listen, as soon as I walked to the door, the look on Saul's face was like, oh. He like looked at me like, I can't send you. And this is what he said. He's like, you are but a youth. Yeah. And so, yeah. I know, it's okay. I didn't tell him, I just, you know. And so he looks at me and he goes, you're only a youth. That guy has been a warrior since he was a kid. You can't go up against this guy. And do you know what I said to Saul? I said, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because my God, listen, I've got proof. He has helped me kill a bear. He's helped me kill a lion. He can help me take down this little giant of a man. He reminded me of the bear, you know what I'm saying? When the bear stood up, all I wanted to do was just run at this character. And he says, okay, all right. He said, this is actually what he said. He goes, the Lord be with you. Like I got no hope here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. So I turn around to leave and he goes, wait. I turn him back around and he goes, at least wear my armor. He takes off. Exactly. He puts his armor on me, okay? And I'm like, I try to stand up in the stuff. I'm little, he's big. He weighed too much. And then you ever like wear a snowsuit when you're little and you're like, like you can't even like unzip your coat, you know, like I can't bend anything. That's how I felt. I looked at him and I said, I can't wear this. I haven't tried it. I don't even know how to walk in it. Like, I can't use it. Please let me take it off. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm gonna go now.
All right, good luck.
So I pick up only my staff and my what? And my slingshot. I went outside of the tent. I grabbed right by the stream. I picked up some stones, put them in my pouch, and then I was ready. And I walk out onto that field toward that giant, and as soon as he saw me, this is what he said. It was funny.
Ha! Am I a dog? Am I a poodle? That you come to me with stick? Come to me and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and to the beasts of the field.
Oh no, you didn't. I said to him, you come to me with a sword and your spear and all your armor and all this. I come to you in the name of the living God, the God of Israel. And this day, oh baby, I'm gonna cut off your head. I'm gonna feed your flesh to the birds of the air. And everybody in the earth will know that there is a God in Israel. Come on, buddy. Okay, wait, he starts to come at me like to intimidate me. I'm like, no way. Back up just a little bit because it was far, you know what I'm saying? And I had a good run. I picked out one stone from here. I put it in. He starts to come at me. I like start booking as fast as I can. Woo! Passa! Wait. 9 giant, little bitty stone, one shot. And what did I tell him I was going to do to him? Dude, I ran over, I picked up his sword. It was like heavy, dude. But I was like, ooh, this is going to be good. And I swung it. And you know what I did? I picked him up by his poodle hair. I took his head. It's still drippy. I know it's gross, but it was awesome. And I raised it as high as I could in front of all the armies of Israel. And I said, this day, our God has saved us. He is the God. There's no other God. And what do you think? How did they react? Come on, louder! Okay, And I want you to know this. Every single one of those Philistines on the other side, they took off running. And as soon as they started running, I look at these guys, I'm like, hey, listen, I took the big one. It's all pickings, come on. They turned around, they started running and chased them down. Listen, you've got to know this. There is power that comes from God that doesn't come from anyone else. You can't find it in anyone or anything other than God. But when you believe Him, that what He says is true. Listen, look here, every eyeball. They're not just stories in that book. This is truth from God. Any of you will believe it, and nobody believes it anymore. Nobody believes it anymore. Come to this place to learn about God, but you don't believe that He really is the same God that does things like this that He is today. He can use you. He wants to use you. It's not just stories. He wants you to believe it. And if you would believe it, I mean the littlest to the tallest of you, come on, it's crazy. I'm praying that you will believe it, okay? And you will start to see God do big things in and through you. For His glory, not yours. Not for Davy, for God, okay? Okay, listen, I gotta go. No, don't even go by him. He stinks so bad like a Philistine. You know what I'm saying?